It seems like every week that I jump on here to give you guys an update on how my investments have been doing, we just continue to hit new highs in the stock market. So in today's video, I'm going to be walking you through how my investment in the SCHD has been going over the past 383 trading days. Is it still worth it? Is my investment in this position worth me continuing to invest in? That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Guys, I just talked about how the stock market has been on fire across the board. We continue to hit all-time highs. And if you take a look at a fund like SCHD, there's no surprise as to why this investment is taking off. If we take a look at the top 15 holdings that are currently within SCHD, there's a lot of names on here that you're very familiar with. So you'll see Qualcomm, Texas Instruments, United Health, Coca-Cola, Chevron, the big dogs that you know and you recognize are all represented within this fund. But let's take a little bit of a deeper look in some of the stocks that have actually been behind the upward movement that we've been seeing in this fund over the past month or so. The very first one here that we'll look at is ConocoPhillips. And as you can see by the chart here, we are starting to make some tremendous moves in this particular position. You can see that it looks like there's a flag, a bull flag forming right here on the 1-year chart. So that could mean some more movement to the upside in this particular position. And then if we take a look at Chevron, very similar chart pattern to what we just saw in ConocoPhillips. Looks like we had a bull flag here on the 1-year chart and we exploded upwards in this particular position. And then we'll go ahead, we'll take a look at United Health. This has been a stock that has been beaten down last year. I think it was last year, maybe it was a year before, where the CEO was assassinated. And we saw this stock battered and it is now trying to rally and make its way back up. We were trading at around $609 a share before all of that happened. And then we saw the massive pullback and it's now trying to rally a little bit. And there are a lot of investors that are jumping back into United Health. I'm not one of them, but there's a lot of people jumping back in. And then we'll take a look at the next one, which is Texas Instruments. Look at this candle on the yearly chart on this. This is just insane. If you're investing in Texas Instruments outside of SCHD, then you're going to be happy with how your investment has been performing. And then the last one here we'll take a look at is Qualcomm. And as you can see, this one is booming as well. So this is why we're starting to see SCHD make some movements upward over the past 5 or 6 months. On an update video that I gave about 3 or 4 months ago, there were a bunch of people that thought that SCHD was left for dead. We should just leave it alone. We should move on to something else. But look, we stayed the course on this and we are now starting to reap the rewards of staying consistent and investing in this dividend powerhouse. Now let's go ahead. We're going to take a look at how my investment has been performing over the last 383 trading days. So right now we're taking a look at my overall investment in SCHD. And as you can see, I have an open P&L, $524.49, and I'm up 13.37%. So almost 13.5% since I started investing in this position, which was back on November 1st of 2024. And just to give you a little reminder, we are doing $10 on every single trading day in this position. And then on the day, I'm down $2.78 and just down 0.06%. So not really a lot. And it looks like that this position has just been trading a little sideways over the past few weeks. And we'll take a look at the chart on SCHD here in a moment. Total market value, $4,448.45. Total cost, $3,923.96. Average price, $28. So that's starting to go up just a little bit. And then we have a quantity of 140 shares of SCHD. I remember when I first started out and I was thinking, how long would it take me to go from 0 to 100 shares? And now I'm looking to see how quickly can we go from 100 to 200. I'll have to go back and take a look at when we pass that 100 share threshold to see how long it has taken us to actually get an additional 40 on top of that. And then the position ratio, 34.92%. This investment makes up almost 35% of my portfolio in Webull. In the last price that we were able to purchase shares of SCHD, $31.74. And guys, we have just been consistent, right? So if you take a look right here on the screen, it is just showing since November 1st of 2024, we have been consistently investing in this position, which is ultimately a piece of the $100,000 portfolio that we're building out. I just gave you guys an update on how we're doing in this portfolio last week. If you haven't had an opportunity to review that video, I'll make sure to leave a link down in the description below. All right, now we're just going to take a little bit of a deeper look into SCHD. I always like to show you guys the 52-week high and the 52-week low just to see how we have been trading in this particular position. So as you can see right now, the 52-week high, $32.13, 52-week low, $24.73. Guys, I remember we were trading near that low and there were so many people that were jumping ship. And for those of you that hung out and stayed the course with SCHD, drop a comment down below. Let me know, how is your position doing right now, especially since you had an opportunity to average in down near the 52-week low. And then if we take a look at the chart, right? We take a look at the SCHD chart, and I showed you guys some of the top movers that are currently in this fund. And as you can see, SCHD is mirroring what we're seeing out of those 5 individual stocks that we looked at a little bit earlier in the video. So we're locked in and we're just gonna continue to keep investing in this position because I think we still have an opportunity to continue moving up. How is this gonna look by the end of the year? By December, could we touch $35 or maybe $40 per share? I'm genuinely curious, especially with how gas prices are going and what's going on in the AI space. And then of course, we looked at Chevron, we looked at Texas Instruments, we looked at Qualcomm. So a lot of companies that are doing a lot of great things and making a lot of people so much money. All right, so now we'll quickly just discuss dividends. So since November 1st of 2024, I've received a total amount of dividends, $109.01. And again, you guys know that we just have this on the dividend reinvestment program. So it's just being reinvested right back into this position. And the last dividend that I received was $32.84, which was more than enough to purchase 1 additional full share of SCHD. So guys, that's the goal for right now, right? Whenever we get these dividend payouts, my goal is to have enough on that payout to secure at least 1 additional share of this investment so we can continue to stack our way toward that $100,000 milestone that we have. All right, now we're gonna take a look at some of the comments that you guys left on my last video. As you know, I love reading the comments that you guys leave on my videos. And the very first comment here, not trying to be mean or anything, but I don't understand the hype around this ETF. I feel like the dividends are too low for income. Is there something I'm missing? Guys, as you guys know, I don't always want people to agree with my approach on how I'm building out my portfolio, right? The goal is to get you guys off the sidelines and into investing. And since you asked this question, from my perspective, this is a steady income generating ETF that I'm building out here, right? So it may not seem like it's a lot, especially in the beginning, but once you get rolling with investing in this particular portfolio, it will pay out a very nice dividend. Imagine having 1,000 shares, 5,000 shares, 10,000 shares of this investment in a portfolio that's able to pay out dividends every single quarter. That adds up, especially if you're investing in this position over a long period of time. And add to the fact of that I don't look at each one of these investments as my sole income generation source, right? So I've talked in previous videos about having a 401k, having my brokerage account. We've got this dividend investing. So I'm looking to build out as many buckets of income that I can for the future when I'm ready to retire and I just don't feel like working anymore. If I can have 10 or 15 different buckets of money that's generating income for me, then that's the goal. So good question. All right, next comment here. I'm with SCHD for the long term, just DCA every month. See, that's the actual approach that I like, especially with this particular investment. And this is a good segue from the last comment that was left. If you're able to stay the course and build out your dividend portfolio, it will pay dividends, no pun intended, later on in life. Now, if you have not had an opportunity to check this book out, Get Rich with Dividends, I would suggest that you take a look at that book because it gives you a really good breakdown of how you can invest in dividend paying stocks and ETFs that will help you to build wealth over a long period of time. All right, the very next comment here, I would love to show this video to someone who smokes cigarettes $10 plus a pack every day or buys overpriced coffee a couple times a day instead of making it at home in 10 years. Very good point, right? I don't want to be one of those people on here that talk about, oh, you can't buy coffee or you can't do this. That's not me. But if you're doing things like smoking cigarettes, and full disclosure, I used to be a smoker way back in the day. And now when I look back on it, I can't believe that that was a habit that I had, but it definitely wasn't $10 a pack then. And if that's how much it costs now, they should absolutely prioritize their health and take that money and redistribute that into something like the stock market. All right, last comment that I'll read here. I put $10 per week into this. I'm all a dividend investor with my Roth. I have SCHD, FDVV, and JEPQ. They've done pretty well for me. I've seen that commented a few times, right? You have been investing in JEPQ for a while. That's one that I'm going to be looking into this weekend. I really want to understand that because I've seen you mention that in the past, and I just want to see what it's all about. Maybe it would be an additional ETF that or index fund that I add to this portfolio at a later date. You never know. All right, that's my 383-day daily investment update in the SCHD. I'm up almost 13.5% on this investment since I started back on November 1st of 2024. So yes, I do believe that it is still worth it to invest in this particular fund. And I'm really interested in seeing what this fund holds in its future. So leave a comment down below. Are you still riding with SCHD, or have you decided to invest in something else? Either way, it's all good as long as you are in the market. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.